This weekend, I'm running 20 miles 2 days in a row. Day one is going to be tough but manageable. The real question is what's going to happen on day two when I wake up tired and sore, but I have to do it all over again. That's where a lot of people would quit. Let's see what happens. Getting ready to start the first of my 2 weekend long runs. So my GPS has gone green, so we're ready to start. Currently 6:28 a.m. I'm kind of trying to do a little bit of practice for an effort to take on my first ultra this year, and one of the recommendations I'd seen was to do 2 long runs back to back, just to see how your body felt on the second long run particularly. So early start, try and get 20 miles done anyway, maybe do a little bit more depending on how I'm feeling later, and then try and do the same tomorrow if I can get through today okay. So yeah, I'll be updating as we go, so talk to you in a bit. This is a mindset tip that I would have spoke about in the past, and it's one that I find pulls me through a lot of challenges, and when I've suggested it to other people, it's helped them through a lot of challenges too. The mindset is to live in the success of completing the challenge as opposed to the difficulty of the challenge. So what that means for me right now, I'm facing into another 15 plus miles of running this morning. I'm going to be facing into more miles tomorrow, probably more running I've done in the next 48 hours than I would have taken on over the past 6 or 7 months in a similar time frame. And that challenge is something I'm going to have to overcome. And if I just spend every mile thinking about how difficult the next mile is going to be, that's going to put me off. But if I spend my time thinking about how good I'm going to feel tomorrow when I press the button at the end of the run, and I've locked in whatever amount of miles it is, then I can live in that positivity and not live in the negativity of the challenge. And that can be applied to any challenge that anybody is facing. You need to study for exams, you've got a big week in work coming up, you need to get through some intense gym work sessions, whatever it is, you can apply that same mindset. Not live in how difficult the challenge is going to be, and live in how good you're going to feel when you're finished. And that mindset can really lift you and push you through those challenges in a way that living in the negativity and the difficulty of the challenge can hold you back. One of the biggest things to be managed as part of long distance running is how you fuel and manage your energy stores while you're moving. There's a lot of talk about kind of carb loading in the days before and making sure your body is ready to go, drinking electrolytes and staying hydrated. But during the run, there's kind of 2 tips that I've kind of found really balanced out my running and helped me finish stronger than when I don't use the tips. The first one is little and often. So when I started my distance running, I would have waited until 60 or 90 minutes into a run to start my fueling. I'd be sipping water maybe from an hour, maybe I'd start eating at 90 minutes. And I've learned that what was happening was my body wasn't able to process that in time to keep my energy levels topped up in a way that was needed for what I was doing. And when I started eating little and often from the start of the run, gave my body time to top up my energy stores. And imagine it kind of like it's the opposite to a car. If you fuel a car, you can drive a car until your tank is empty, refill it and you're good to go, because the car can turn whatever fuel source into the energy it needs to move instantly. But our bodies need time to process the fuel. So what I eat now is going to fuel my body in the next 15, 20, 30, 60 minutes. And my body needs time to process that. And if I wait until I'm getting low, then that's going to be more difficult for my body to process that. So that's the first tip, little and often. And then the second tip is to do nothing new on race day. So it's when you're practicing, when you're doing your longer runs at the start, it's about trialing different things. I'm somebody that energy gels don't work for, but I do find that kind of jelly babies or other sweets like that work for me. I do enjoy having some sort of electrolytes with me, and as I say, little and often, kind of using those every 5 or 10 minutes just to stay on top of it. And the hope is that by the time I make it to where most people hit the wall, which is a point in the race where your body is completely run out of energy stores, that the little and often fueling I was doing before getting to that point will give my body enough to hold me through that and help me finish the end of the run strong. So those two tips, little and often and nothing new on race day. I love being out this early in the morning, just get to enjoy this whole area to myself. Haven't passed a person for, I don't know, the last 3 miles. Probably won't pass anybody for 3 miles going back. By the time I get back closer to town, there's going to be more people out, but for now I just get to be here on my own and enjoy this space. So I'm recording this just after finishing the first leg of my 2 20-mile runs for this weekend. I'd initially started off thinking I'd do 20 miles today and 20 miles tomorrow. I felt I had a little bit left in me this morning, so I went as far as 22 miles. Calves are burning a bit. There's a couple of uphills in the last mile towards my house where I finish off, so found those a bit tough, but get home, shower, eat, do a bit of stretching, see how I am for tomorrow. It is currently 6:18 on morning 2. First thought I had when my alarm went off was just go back to bed. You don't want to do this. Still have sore quads from yesterday, but I'm gonna get up, move around a little bit, have some breakfast, definitely try the first mile anyway, see where we go. Morning 2, we have our little green line, so we're off. Morning 2, first mile done. I'm not feeling it, but look, we know the first mile is a liar, so head down, we just keep pushing on. I've had this thought rolling around in my head for the last few miles, and it's something that I've seen other distance runners talk about. It's the idea that at some point in a long run, or where I'm at now, which is my second 20-mile run in 2 days, that you're just running on tired, sore legs. And it's about the mindset you have at that point. Like, I don't know if I can get any more tired or any more sore, and in my head that's telling me should just give up, it's not worth it. And that's when I need to click into my discipline mindset. It's not about fitness anymore, it's about mental toughness. It's about telling myself that I can do it, picking a focus point. Sometimes I'm telling myself just get another 5 minutes done, just get to the next mile. Sometimes I have what I talked about in yesterday's run, which is think about how good I'm going to feel when I get the 20 miles done today. And it doesn't make the pain go away, but it gives me a focal point that I can just push towards. And I'm hoping that that's enough to get me through the rest of the run. We'll see how I'm feeling once I get to the next mile marker. Hopefully I'll be able to push through, but let's see what happens. So just finished 20-mile run number 2. There's the details. That was tough. Not so much physically, kind of knew I was going to be tired, knew my legs were going to be sore, kind of prepared for that, but the mental part of it, like as soon as my alarm went off this morning, my first thought was, what are you doing, just stay in bed. Got out of bed, tried to walk a couple of steps, all the stiffness I was feeling yesterday was still there. And I don't know, I spoke about this idea before, that the first mile is a liar. So I think even, I don't know, some part of me was lying to myself this morning, even before I started that first mile. Had my breakfast, got my gear on. I said, look, try the first mile, see how you feel. And slowly, incrementally, 1 mile turned into 2, turned into 3. Yeah, the mental bit of it was so much harder than I thought it was. Like, I spent, I don't know, 70%, 80% of the run telling myself just to give up, that it's not worth it. And I spoke about it in yesterday's video, I mentioned it earlier on as well, but I used that mindset of how good am I going to feel when I get it finished, and that really did pull me through. I'm not sure if you can see it now, really. It's starting to rain, that feels really good. I'm actually really proud of what I was able to get through this morning, and I was that, like, you know, building that little bit of extra mental resilience, that I was able to shut down the bit of me that was saying you can't do it, and I was able to listen to the bit of me that said I could do it. So really, really proud. And I mean, I'm not an elite level athlete by any means, just an average guy, but I think it goes to show, with a little bit of discipline, what can be achieved by almost anybody. It was discipline that pulled me through this morning. Like, didn't want to get out of bed, didn't want to do the first mile, and that discipline just kicked in. So it really drove me forward. Yeah, really happy with that. I'm not sure if doing those two runs together has taught me whether or not I can try to take on a 50 miler, because it was tough, and I don't know if I'd have tried to do what I did now straight after the 22 miles yesterday, but I'll take a couple of days, reflect and see where we are. If you like this video, got anything useful out of it, let me know in the comments. And if you'd like to see more of this type of video, or maybe a different style of video, like I don't record every run I do, I only record the ones that I think maybe are going to kind of include something useful for people. So I say, let me know in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.